Hi humans, it is I, Gabby the Pug. I'm here today just to do a quick warning for you guys. If you ever see this, it's a warning for you guys ahead of a video that's about to be shown. Um, this video that I is going to put out now, it probably has some sensitive stuff. Some stuff that might talk about things that might make you sad or affect your mental health in bad ways. It's not because we don't love you. It's just sometimes we have to talk about these things. And when we do, we want to make sure that you guys are okay. So, if you have some troubles with your mental health, or if you are affected pretty easily by some sensitive subjects, then there will be time in the video at the start for you to skip to, or if there isn't a time at the start of the video for you to skip to, then maybe this is a video that you should just skip, just to be safe. And, as a word of advice, if you guys are having a hard time, my word of advice to you is to get ice cream. Daddy got ice cream for me today, and it made everything better. See, I'm all better. So, if you need it, go get yourself some ice cream, and give yourself some love, because you all deserve some love. And if you do watch the video, thank you for watching. Okay, love you humans. This is my warning. I think I'm done now. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, or possibly evening, Magic players and card collectors of all kinds. Welcome back to the channel for what is going to be kind of a bit of a somber episode today, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I've been crunching the numbers and I've been doing a lot of math on this, and as much as I thought that this originally was going to be a sustainable thing that I could keep going, I really don't think it's going to be unless I can get some serious help in terms of support with my GoFundMe or whatever, because things are just not looking good. I think I'm going to get probably hit pretty hard at tax time, because last year I was actually earning some kind of decent coin, like several months there in like the summer. But so I'm a little worried about that, and to be perfectly honest, I kind of forgot about a couple things that I needed to pay for Kaiba that are coming up. So between those things, I've come to the realization that I'm just not able to afford any extras for any reason whatsoever. So I am cutting down to the absolute bare minimum of everything possible, which means that Dollarama Draws of Destiny is going to be coming to an end soon. Not too soon, but pretty soon. This is how many packs of Destiny I have left in storage. I'm not going to buy any more, ever, until I either get this car paid off or I end up having to sell it or whatever. So, I'm planning to rip 2 packs per episode going forward, which will give us 7 more episodes of Destiny before the end of the series. But otherwise, unfortunately, it is what it is, like I say, unless I can start getting some help from some people, either from some of you guys. I know some people have helped and have been very generous, and I don't want to take away from that. I really appreciate everybody who has contributed, but I don't know what to say or do anymore about it, to be perfectly honest. I'm struggling pretty hard right now, and Kaiba knows it, and he's been sensing it, and I feel really bad for him too, because he knows I'm upset. But I don't think I got that second job. I've never heard back from them. I keep asking, and I keep being told that I'm going to hear back from the minister, but the minister never contacted me. So I'm presuming that they've just given the job to somebody else and decided they're not going to bother contacting me, which is kind of rude, but that's the way it went. That's the way it went, unfortunately. And so yeah, I'm gonna start trying to sell some stuff. Well, I have been trying to sell stuff from my locker, but there's certain things that I was hanging on to that I figured would sell for more money per se if I can get them working and things like that. but I just didn't necessarily want to sell those things because they mean a lot to me. For example, I found my Sega Game Gear in storage. I haven't played it in years, so I figure there's a good chance that it probably doesn't work anymore, but maybe my dad, who's into technology and stuff, might be able to get it working. If he can, then I can probably sell that, or maybe somebody who will want to buy it anyways and they're going to try and fix it up themselves. Who knows? But I'm going to try and do that. And my GameCube that my brother is currently borrowing, I'm also going to be selling that in the near future, and my entire collection of games for that. And I might end up having to sell some of my cards too. And if I do, it is what it is. I've already started to try and decide like which ones I want to keep in terms of like which decks really mean the most to me and which decks I could probably sell and maybe make a little bit of money off of, so I can make some of the money that I need to give. But anyways, I apologize for the like rather depressing start to this episode, but let's try and pick it up now the proper way. So it's time for Dollarama Draws of Destiny! So we've got the 2 packs here that we're going to do today, and we're going to see if we can keep the legendary streak alive, and yeah, we'll go from there. This channel might end up being a lot less about cards and a lot more about Kaiba in the near future, but honestly, the stuff that Kai put out with Kaiba does a lot better than anything I do with cards or video games for that matter, so maybe that's just the better route to go at this point. Lean into the puggy awesomeness. But we're going to do what we can for as long as we can, and we're going to start this one off with a Shell Shield. Blue with Kicker 1. Target creature you control gets +0/+3 until end of turn. If it was kicked, this gets hexproof as well. That's pretty good. It's pretty cheap actually for what you're doing there. Seagate Oracle enters the battlefield. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, the other onto the bottom of your library. Okay. Forerunner of Legion. 2 and a white for a 2/2. When this thing enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a vampire card. Reveal it, then shuffle your library and put it on top. Ooh, that's pretty badass. Whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end turn. I think that might be the hit of the day so far, at least. Borgardi. One more time. Bogarden Fire Fiend. 2 and a red for a 2/1. Fire Fiend is an elemental spirit, and when it is put into the graveyard from play, it deals 2 damage to target creature. Lame. Generous Stray. 2 and a green for a 1/2. When it enters battlefield, you get to draw a card. Slightly better than the last one, but not too much better, to be perfectly honest, for that cost. Actually, I suppose. Jewel Eyed Cobra is nice. Death Touch, and when it dies, you get to make a treasure token. I do love having an extra copy of that one. Pretty happy about that pull. Rapid Augmenter. 1 blue and red for a 1/3 with haste. Whenever another creature you control with base power 1 enters, it gains haste until end of turn. Ooh, nice. Whenever another creature you control enters, if it was cast, put a +1/+1 counter on this thing, and this thing can't be blocked this turn. I think that's got to go into my... I know which deck that needs to go into, I just can't come up with the name of it off the top of my head. It is the Bloomburrow one. I think that's probably actually from the Bloomburrow deck, probably, that came in. Anyways, Even Skirmisher, 1 white for a 1/1 with flying. Decent enough. Not gonna kick it out. Soulbound Guardians, 4 and a white for a 4/5 with Defender and flying. I mean, if it was a wall, I'd be happy, but I'm gonna probably not play that, to be honest. Xenia. That's the one I'm thinking of. My deck that has Xenia, this would go perfect into. Xenia might be one of the decks that I actually end up having to sell, though, so we'll see. Murmuring Mystic, 3 and a blue for 1/5. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get to make a blue bird illusion creature token with flying. That's pretty decent. Still think the Forerunner is my favorite card so far, though. Train of Thought. 1 and a blue to play this. Replicate it for 1 and a blue, so you can copy it for each time you pay the extra cost, and you get to draw a card for each time you replicate it. So that's pretty decent. You can basically decide how many cards you're going to draw based on how much mana you have available. Woe Leecher, 5 and a white for a 3/5. Pay a white, tap this, remove a -1/-1 counter from target creature. If you do, gain 2 life. Well, that's awesome for anybody who's playing Blight nowadays. Angel's Mercy, 2 and 2 white. You gain 7 life at instant speed. I'll take that. Jun Sojourners. Black, red, and green for a 3/2 Vishano Shaman. When this thing is cycled or it's put into a graveyard from play, you can have it deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Lame. That is bad. And we end on a Graveblade Heavy for this pack. 3 and a black for a 3/4. As long as you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0 and has Death Touch. Decent. Decent. That pack was alright. I definitely think the Forerunner is still my favorite card for sure, but that Rapid Augmenter is pretty kick butt too. And I'm not going to say no to the Murmuring Mystic. This Puggy Pack Break has been brought to you by Snow. It's really, really cold in my hand, but it makes him super happy. Snowballs! What's that you say, Kaiba? One more snowball? Coming right up. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Yes, I have one more. Yes, are you ready? Are you ready? Kaiba and I hope you have enjoyed this Puggy Pack Break. And now, back to the cards. Can we pull a legendary though? That is the question. You guys are seeing this later in the day because I wanted to make sure that I got the Kaiba Sunday video out. So as soon as I get home, I'm going to get Kaiba out for a walk. I'm just getting home from work now because I went to the storage unit for a while to pick around and see what I could sell. So once I get home, I'm going to get Kaiba out for a walk. And then after I get him done with his walk, my intention is to quickly get on to... Darn it, I lost my train of thought. Darn it, I lost my train of thought. Oh, get back to editing the Kaiba video for you guys so that it can get out hopefully by, let's say, noonish. Boast tap target creature? Yeah. Plated GOP. 1 and a red for a 1/1. First strike, whenever a land enters the battlefield, this thing gets +2/+2 until end of turn. That's a decent card for sure for a landfall deck. I'm gonna not be upset with that. Unsummon is alright. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Natural Spring, target player gains 8 life. I have a bunch of different copies of this, but I don't have this version of the artwork, and I like this one so much better than the other ones I have. That is gorgeous. Dead Weight. Black, enchant creature, enchanted creature, it's -2/-2, okay. Celestial Regulator. 1 white and blue for an Angel Advisor with flying 2/3. It's apparently bent to crap. Pringling. Foils. Snoop will be pleased to see how bad the foil is. When it enters the battlefield, choose target creature you don't control and tap it. If you control a creature with a counter on it, the chosen creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Yeah. I mean, it's not horrid, but I suppose 2/3 for flying with flying is decent enough, actually. I would be okay with that. Cryptex 2. Tap this, collect evidence 3. Add 1 mana of any color, put an unlock counter on Cryptex. Sacrifice Cryptex, surveil 3, then draw 3 cards, but you can only do it if this thing has 5 or more counters on it. Probably not going to use that. I'm sure there's somebody who would really like that, but ain't me. I don't do a whole lot of the evidence stuff, to be honest. 2 and a green? Shredding Winds deals 7 damage to target creature with flying. Okay. Tin Street Hooligan. 1 and a red for a 2/1 Goblin Rogue. When this thing comes into play, if green was spent to cast it, you get to destroy an artifact. Neat. I have a good deck, actually, to put that one into, too. Aw, did you just block me in, Giant Transport Truck? That's lame. The Dev Guardian, Human Knight with Convoke, 2/4 for 3 and a white. Antler Skullkin. I mean, you can get it out for basically 1 white, which is pretty good, actually. If you're willing to tap some stuff. 5 for a 3/3 Artifact Scarecrow. Pay 2, target white creature gains persist until end of turn. Neat. Torture. Enchant creature. Black and 1, put a -1/-1 counter on enchanted creature. Again, actually, that's really good for blight decks nowadays. So there's a couple cards there that I might have actually be able to get some decent coin on because they'd be useful for decks today that they weren't useful for a long time. Driver of the Dead. When this thing dies, return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, I'm not going to say no to that either. That's a decent vampire. Protective Bubble, 3 and a blue. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature is unblockable and has Shroud. Damn! That has got to be card of the day, I think, actually. I think that beats the vampire. Unblockable and Shroud. That thing becomes basically untouchable. And Comet Crawler, lifelink, 2/3. For 2 and a black, whenever this creature attacks, you can sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, so it becomes a 4/3. Okay. Yeah, that protective bubble is insane. I don't know, guys. You let me know in the comments which one you think is better. Protective Bubble or the Forerunner of the Legion. Either way, I think those are the 2 best cards in this episode. And that is going to be it for Dollarama Draws of Destiny this week. 6 more weeks to go. Unless something changes, like I say. So, fingers crossed that something changes. I am going to put the link to the GoFundMe in the description of this video. It really hasn't been doing super well for the last month or so, but I mean, I was saying to a few friends the other day, like, honestly, if I can just convince some people to just give up like a cup of coffee for a day or two, like if enough people did that, I would be able to get out of this hole I'm in and things would be so much better for Kaiba and I. But right now, we've got to do what we've got to do and hope for the best. So much love to you all. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Okay, bye.